Welcome back to another cooking adventure. This time we're going to be making Hollandaise sauce in a pan. The most important thing about this recipe is to have a low heat. You do not want to curdle the eggs. The first thing we're going to do is to put our egg yolks in the pan along with our lemon juice. My trusty wooden spoon has a flat edge, which I really like because that way you can get all parts of the pan. And I'm using a small pan because this recipe only makes about half a cup. Okay, so I've stirred my eggs and my lemon juice together. And I'm going to add 1/2 of a stick of butter. And I'm going to stir this very consistently, and the butter is going to melt. I want to keep a low heat so that the eggs don't cook before the butter melts. And while I'm stirring, I'm going to sip a little bit of this delicious wine. It always helps to have a glass of wine while you cook. Okay, it is melting. So I'm going to turn up just a wee bit the heat. And keep stirring. Notice the butter is stuck on my spoon. That's a little trick I learned. Hollandaise sauce is great on asparagus, broccoli, and I'm sure you can find other vegetables it would be delicious on. Okay, now this piece of butter is melting nicely, so I'm going to place the other half of the stick and do the same thing. I'm going to catch it on my spoon and I'm just going to stir and stir and stir. And while it's getting thick, this is similar to mayonnaise. When you make mayonnaise, you make an emulsion with the egg and the acid. Okay, I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. You want to keep the heat fairly low, but just warm enough to melt the butter. You never want the Hollandaise sauce to boil, because then you've had it. Now, if for some reason it curdles, you can, and this is a little trick I learned, place the Hollandaise sauce in a food processor or blender and add a little bit of warm water, just a little, maybe a tablespoon, and process it to see if it will come back together again. But if you're careful with the heat, you will never have to do that. Okay, butter is almost melted and it needs to get a little thicker. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salt, stir in a little bit of Dijon mustard. To keep this warm, because you can make this Hollandaise sauce ahead of time, you can put it in a bowl and put the bowl over warm water. Not boiling water, but warm water. It's getting nice and thick. I'm going to lift it up off of the burner to give it its final stirs, so there's no chance of this delicious sauce curdling or overcooking. You can see now, you can see the bottom of the pan and a little streak. Can you see that? Bottom of the pan? And there you have it. Beautiful Hollandaise sauce. And it will thicken on standing.